Just before Christmas, my 90-year-old father almost died. That made me reflect upon my own life. If I thought that I was about to die, what would I consider to be the most important thing that I ever achieved in this life? Well, when the Apostle Paul was writing his second letter to Timothy, that very question would most certainly have been on his mind, because he was awaiting to be executed by the Roman authorities for being a Christian. So how did Paul answer that question? He said, "I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith." You see, for Paul, the most important thing was not that God had called him to be an apostle. It wasn't all of his missionary activity. It wasn't all of the amazing miracles that God performed through Paul. It wasn't even the fact that in Paul's own lifetime, his writings were being regarded as scripture. Rather, the most important thing to Paul was that in spite of all of his trials, all of his hardships, he could say with full confidence at the end of his life that he had not abandoned the faith. One of the downfalls of being an older Christian is seeing how many people over the years have dropped out of the Christian race. People who I knew 20 or 30 years ago, who back then were extremely passionate for the things of God, yet now who are either indifferent or even outright hostile. The Christian faith, it requires spiritual endurance. That's because it's a marathon, not a sprint. So why not dedicate this new year of 2019 as a year when you begin to focus more upon the eternal things, the things that really matter, rather than the temporal fleeting pleasures of this life, so that at the end of your life you can say, along with Paul, that you fought the good fight, you finished the race, you kept the faith.